Oh, yeah. Happy Monday morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday to you. Good morning. Wake up, wake up. Time to move your body. Get your body moving. Good morning, Monday morning to you. Already May 9th. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, 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 good morning to y'all. It's time for me to wake up. I gotta wake up.
Man. Real case of the Mondays.
Monday morning ain't no joke this morning.
Man.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Monday, May 9th, 2022.
2 to 2.
You know what it is. It's time for First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning. May 9th already, man. It's a trip. Brianna Full, good morning. She says, good morning. Elections tomorrow. Have you made a plan to vote yet? Very good question. Very good question indeed. And one we hope to answer today and have everybody else answer today as well. So, yeah, chime on in. Brooke Allen gives us a good morning. And Omar Valentine says, good morning, fam. What's happening? What's happening? Leah Keister says, morning. Good morning to you as well. Yeah, we're just trying to wake up on this Monday, May 9th. How y'all feeling?
Everybody, I'm a little upset.
Say again?
Said I'm a little upset.
What you upset about?
Man, went upstairs to make me some tea. We out of cane sugar, man. We out of the good stuff. Only got that white sugar.
It's all the same, bro. And cane ain't no more healthy than the white, bro.
I don't know if I don't think it's a cane sugar, to be honest. It's like a brown. I don't know, but it ain't the good stuff. I tell
sugar
you,
is sugar is sugar. You need to lay off the sugar. Trust me, I'm on a sugar diet right now, and I'm not happy.
Well, all I know is I need to whip me up some tea, and I ain't got what I need.
Well, you need that honey, man. Get that local honey, man.
I got the local honey on it.
Okay. You need the sugar and the honey in it, huh?
I mean, just a dash of sugar.
Just a tinge.
Yeah, just a pinch with salt, man.
Brooke says, tired this finals week. You need honey, buddy. See, even Brooke's on that.
No, I got honey. I got I got bourbon honey.
Bourbon honey.
Yeah, all natural bourbon honey.
Say what?
Yeah.
Looking for some sugar for it. You got bourbon honey. What's going on?
Man, well, we almost out the bourbon honey. Need to re-up.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, check it out, man. I got hipped again. The post date is wrong. It's Monday, and I'm trying to get the post date.
Oh, okay. It happens. It's Monday.
Today. Is it the 9th today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just had the headline date wrong. Lucia Rodriguez gives us a good morning. What's happening? Josh Tate says happy Monday of election week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tomorrow is the day.
Miss Erica Felt gave us an O. That's our.
You heard that right? Bourbon honey.
Bourbon honey.
All natural, local bourbon honey. And you taste the bourbon. Got a little twang to it.
Man. Gotta try that, bro. That sounds like an Atlanta thing. Is that
maybe? I mean, it's made here locally, so I don't know. You know, I don't know how they get the bourbon in there. Because I know if you use like wildflower or you use certain flowers, it dictates the taste of the honey. I ain't never heard of a bourbon flower.
Yeah, I can't say I had either. Rose Reviews, good mornings over on YouTube. Lucia Rodriguez is on YouTube as well. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. We got couple of YouTube folks. Leg Keats is on YouTube. Appreciate it.
Hey.
Rome's review says sick and tired of being sick and tired, boss.
Man,
that's the story of my life right there, brother. Mayor
Sanchez. Hey, how did you enjoy that Mariachi Zapata? How'd that go?
And also I saw you was out there on the parade this weekend as well. So yeah, let us know what's going on with your weekend. How did the Cinco de Mayo parade go? What did you do for Mother's Day? Did you guys all hung over from Mama cooking last night? What's really going on?
Down on the deuce.
Supposed to be 92 degrees today, bro.
Really? Okay.
Just like that.
Nice.
Put a jacket on one day, put shorts on the next.
Yeah, y'all know it's gonna snow tomorrow.
Miss Erica Fell says, I bet that makes good hot toddies. I heard that.
Yeah.
Bourbon honey.
I'm sure it does.
That's what I'm talking about. Wanda Luz gives us a good morning. Good morning. Brother Muhammad says, Assalamu alaikum, family.
Hey, alaikum salam, brother. Best of luck tomorrow.
Yep. Kimmer Snipes says, good morning, y'all. What's happening, sis? Miss Erica Fell says, oh, good morning. I was distracted by the honey. She was like, oh.
I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, we when we had first got here, we went to like we actually were just driving and came across like this community event kind of farmers market type event held by an Islamic organization down here, and just kind of getting to know some of the brothers and sisters in the community. And they had a booth there, and yeah, we've been hooked ever since. It's been about a good year now. Yeah, we get. Yeah,
you got the kids like at night when it's laying in bed. It's time to go to bed. Like, I need a teaspoon of that honey. Suggested.
And make sure it's the bourbon one.
You get a teaspoon of that bourbon honey and knock them on out. Ty Williams gives us a good morning with some sunshine. Alice Brown, blessed Monday. Oh, love and support from Texas. That's what's up.
Hey, okay, Texas in the building.
Hey, appreciate you chiming in this morning. Cameron Snipe says, glad to be back. DC last week, headed to Black Wall Street this week. I'm excited. That's what's up. You're doing some traveling.
On the move.
I love it. What you gonna do out in Black Wall Street now? You moving around. We have to have you on and talk about your travels here.
Right.
Because we know you got something popping. Yep. That's what's up. Let us know about your weekend. How was Cinco de Mayo parade? And what did you guys do for Mother's Day yesterday?
How was your weekend, man? I see
my weekend was dead. I was doing nothing but work. Pretty much worked all weekend, man.
You didn't make it to Mariachi Zapata?
Didn't make it. Had to work. No, I went to. I was on a work capacity. I was in and out.
Oh, okay. So you didn't really get to enjoy the show, you're saying? Because you're working.
No. Right. And then Saturday night we had a Omaha Poetry Slam came in, which was dope.
Okay.
And I ran their live stream, so I worked Saturday night too. So it was just it was kind of a working weekend is what it was for me. So
didn't make it to the parade, huh?
Didn't make it to the parade. Again, had to set up for that Saturday night show and all that good stuff. So there was a lot going on, and I was kind of mad about it too, man. It was one of them things where it was later on in the evening, and I was like, I should have just called off and went because this once a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of them things.
Man, yeah, my weekend was kind of dead too, man. Did not make it to the beach. Did not make it near the beach. Yeah, man, it was it just wasn't warm enough. It was kind of gray out on Saturday, and then we were looking like, I don't know. Sunday it was like 65.
Wow.
It wasn't ideal. And if mother-in-law, wife, if they're gonna be at the beach for the first time, it got to be sunshine. You got to at least be able to, get in the water.
Yeah, you don't want to be out there cold.
Nah. So, and that Atlantic Ocean, man, does not get that warm.
No, it ain't the Pacific, bro.
No, it's not.
It's specifically not the Pacific. Rome's review says, love Mariachi Zapata. Parade is first class. The festival is no class. And Mother's Day was brunch and wheat fields. Okay. Brunch and wheat fields. Okay. Kramer Snipe says biker rally out there in where you say he was going next? BWS?
Black Wall Street. Out in Tulsa.
Okay. And she said our son cooked for me yesterday, and today is his B-Day, so it looks like I'm cooking today.
Nah, he knew what he was doing. That's a reverse psychology. I cooked for you yesterday.
Yeah. Brooke says, what beach do you go to, buddy?
I'm not sure the name of the beach, but it's in Savannah, Georgia. I'm not sure the name. I've actually never been to this beach.
Ooh, I got some
I've
people in
been
Savannah.
really okay.
Christine Fink. That you remember who the person used to do the editing
Yeah,
for? Her and her husband's out there, and they always try to get me to come out there talking about the beach out there in Savannah.
it's only about 4 hours away from where I stay, man. Might have to make it a thing. Might have to make it a thing. But again, I've never been to this beach. I have been to a beach along the Atlantic. I went to when I lived in North Carolina. I went to I'm drawing a blank on the name. It's in South Carolina. But it not my favorite beach. A lot of shark teeth, very rocky. Yeah, man. The water was cold. It's not my. I've been to Venice Beach. I've been to South Beach. I've been to the Bahamas. I'm telling you, the East Coast beaches, not the same.
You already know how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. I need that white sand, that clear water, man. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Bro.
But it's the beach.
Tybee Island is outside of Savannah.
Okay.
Rose said he'd been to Tybee Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm down to go out and check it out. I mean, they was adamant about it. It was like, you missed the beach. You need to come out here and see what Savannah's got going on. I was like, okay.
I did hear that Savannah is beautiful though. So,
yeah, man.
One day.
Josh Tate says Mariachi Zapata was great as always. Got to talk to Michelle a bit. Missed you, Paul. Definitely got to get myself back to Benson Theater. Great space. Hey, man, appreciate you coming. Was that your first time at the theater checking it out? Let me know. Mr. Eric says I canceled reservations with mixed feelings. Was going to Vegas this weekend until my son told me it's the $1,000 calculus test for him the weekend in the weekend. He's been studying, so I hope he gets it. Yeah, remember we reported on that. They was giving away $1,000 for that calculus if you took that calculus test.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you can't miss that. Definitely not for Vegas. Go out there, try to gamble, lose all your money. Could have been making some money.
Right. Brooks says that's where my friend lives. He loves it. Who you talking about? I mean, where are you talking about? Tybee Island
or Savannah?
Or
Savannah? It's beautiful out there. In Myrtle Beach, yes, Ty Williams, Myrtle Beach.
That's Myrtle Beach. Yeah, we used to have some family out in Savannah. They all kind of moved back to Omaha, I believe. But yeah, I never got out there when the fam was there. So, but at least we got some friends there now. I gotta go check it out.
Yeah, man. Also, you do anything for Mother's Day?
Man, I didn't do anything. We didn't do anything but work. I worked all weekend long. How about you?
My mom fired me. No. Didn't take my wife to the beach. Didn't barely even talk to my mom. My phone was dead the whole day. My charger's been acting up. Yeah, it's a thing. I got fired, y'all.
Okay. All right. Glad you got a job here at First Sky Omaha Radio.
Hey!
First Sky Omaha in the morning. Buddi3 Da Gawd. Star Trek Rich. It's going down. Rose Review says North Carolina come on a raise up, take shirt off, wave helicopter. He likes that. North Carolina. What's up? Josh Tate says it was my first time since it was totally gutted before construction began. Yeah, different place now, isn't it? Brooks says Savannah. Okay, yeah. Everybody sees something about Savannah. Man, I'm definitely gonna have to take a trip down there, see my peoples. Mr. Phil says I don't gamble, only the weather. Yeah.
Man,
Brooks says celebrate your moms all year long. That's true. You got a whole year, buddy, every day in order for you to get hired back. So yep, all year, just like it's Black History Month all year, Mother's Day all year long. 7:15 is coming up on 7:15. If you believe in the concept of time, good morning to everyone. Thanks for coming on in early and joining us this morning. We got some special guests in the house that's coming through. Chris Bowling from The Reader will be in. We're checking in with him. I just got word from Matt Wynn. He will not be coming in. He's a little under the weather, so hopefully he'll feel better soon as well. But we do have Alicia Shelton that will be in a little bit later just to talk about getting the vote out. So be sure to stay tuned and hear from her pretty soon, and I'll hear from all of you. I'm thinking today we definitely gonna be talking about what's happening tomorrow.
Man,
big day tomorrow.
What's going on?
If we haven't impressed that the primaries are very important, then I just don't quite know. if we are doing the right thing. So anyway, tomorrow is the day. It's kind of the subject for the day for sure. Like I said, Alicia Shelton will come on and help us to do some get out the vote rallying and things like that. And let us know what your plans are for tomorrow too. And start putting the word out. Need to ride, need to try to take off work, whatever needs to happen. Got to try to make it happen.
Yeah.
So So that's what's in store for the show. What else we gonna be talking about today, buddy?
Man, I finally have some numbers for some things that you've been talking about. We've all kind of been personally impacted by it. I'm talking about this uptick in COVID cases. Now we actually have some numbers to put to it and some data, statistics to talk about. So we'll get into that. Also, speaking of numbers, it looks like these Omaha neighborhood grants are being rolled out. So we got some numbers to go over. Some communities getting some love, or some organizations in the community getting some love. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Also, speaking of giving some love, please join us in giving love to Miss Simone Sanders. Actually, you can just drop off to the Sanders now. It's just Simone.
Just Simone.
Yeah, it's just Simone. So yeah, we'll dive into her next endeavor, her new adventure. And then speaking of next endeavors and new adventures, it seems like teachers are moving on to the next stage in life, man. 37 teachers to be exact, all plan to leave Central after this year, man. That's
very strange.
Do they have any more teachers than that? Is that all the teachers, man? 37 teachers. That's a lot of educators leaving at one time. So
I mean, all at the same time. That's what I don't get. I don't get that part.
Yeah. So like a mass exodus, man. So we'll kind of dive into what's behind that, what's going on, especially with several candidates for Omaha Public Schools Board. Kind of wonder what y'all got to say about this. Yeah, we'll talk about that and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you feel like we should be talking about, let us know. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich.
Hey.
All of you, let's go.
Let's do it. What up? Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. All of you, the chat chimers, thanks for joining us on this Monday, May the 9th, 2022, day before the primaries, day before vote day, and beginning of what they call vote week. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for coming on in and sharing with us what happened with you over the weekend. Really appreciate that. Let us know, did you have some fun out there? Did you hit the Cinco de Mayo parade? Did you do anything with moms yesterday? Let us know what's going on. We appreciate it. Brooks and Zane saw the intro for the first time right now and loves it. Oh, good, buddy. I'm glad. This is the first time you got up early enough to see it.
The dude.
I usually sleep in past this. That's what's going on. Brooke says, did you notice the red, black, and green visuals on Simone's set? Ooh, can't wait to talk about Simone Sanders. Most definitely. Kimmer Snipe says in the chat, if you have a neighborhood association in South Omaha, you can also apply for grants through the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance mini grant program as well. So even more money out there to help you beautify up and do what you got to do for your situation there. So that's what's going on. It's got to happen. Let's see what else is going on. Rome's review says 3 teachers retiring, 5 moving schools, and 25 are resigning? ?
Man,
lots to talk about.
Quite a lot.
Brother Muhammad in the chat says, I've been talking about the problem, yet everyone is talking about pie in the sky. I got a plan. Brother Muhammad got a plan for the exodus of these teachers. So that's what's up. Todd Pinson says, morning, love, First Sky, appreciate you. Facebook user again says, good morning. Are other high school teachers in other high schools in the area suffering from the same issues expressed by the teachers leaving Central High School? Good question. And we are definitely seeing that in the chat. You guys are interested in this subject here. Is a very, just to hear the headline that many teachers are leaving one school at the same time is kind of a trip. Yeah. So we'll go ahead.
I have not heard any reports about any other schools, but I know Brooke. I know you're preparing to be a teacher. We kind of love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that and more throughout the show. So chime into the chat. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, Cameron Snipes says it's like this with schools across the U.S. Not just Central OPS. Interesting. Okay. Well, maybe we should go ahead and dig into it then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start there.
Right.
I was prepared to start somewhere else, but hey,
well, go ahead, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
We respond to the co-host though. It's all about the conversation. So yeah. Again, 37 different teachers. This according to a report from KETV7. They're all planning to make an exit after this year at the same time. I think that qualifies for a mass exodus. This according to an Omaha journalism teacher who says she's one of nearly 40 teachers who plan to leave Central High at the end of the school year. She and a student she advises requested the data from OPS after hearing whispers in the hallways. Two educators are speaking about their decision to leave and the future of teaching in general. Both teachers said it was an incredibly difficult decision to make. They also said they love teaching and they also love Central, but it's time to step away. Brian Tyree says, I always wanted to work at Central. That was kind of my dream job going into teaching. Tyree is a Latin teacher at Central High School and also an Eagle alum. So, of course, his love for Central runs deep. I never really met an Eagle who didn't love Central. But he goes on to say, I love teaching. I love the job. I love the kids. I love the people involved. It's just, to watch out for myself and make sure I'm not working 10 hours a day every day. Apparently, after 7 years at the school, he says staffing shortages are leading to teachers covering classes they aren't certified to teach in and also taking on security roles. He fears education may be forced to change. Some teachers have also pointed to changes in the specifically in OPS. One teacher, Blaney, says that it was a really, really hard decision to make, but also pointed to the Career Academies and Pathways plan, which she says motivated her to move out of the district. She says, I just think there's got to be more flexibility in what we're being able to teach and what kids are allowed to take as classes, giving teachers more autonomy over what they teach, giving different schools more autonomy, also letting principals control their buildings. I think that would help a lot. Again, she believes that students will not be able to pursue multiple interests because of the Career Academies pathways, kind of pigeonholing the students, if you will. Again, those are just two of the teachers. There's also a report from Omaha Central's high school called the Register, in which several teachers allude to just other positions in other areas, either within OPS or outside of OPS, as to where they will be going. Some alluded to working closer to home. One, Eric Behrens, who's actually one of the most beloved faculty members at Central, he's moving on to one of the new high schools that OPS just opened to be their director of sports. So a lot of changes. Again, I don't know if this is only Central, as Miss Snipes, who former board member, I would think she has some kind of inside track on this. She says it's an issue across the country, not just OPS, not just Central. So, what say you?
Jumping in the chat real quick, Mr. Brother Muhammad says you can't make this up. If they speak out, it could be the acts. It's what is not being taught. Who, what, and the why. It's at the board level, y'all, which is reason why Brother Muhammad is running for school board, along with Brianna Full, Char Shelton, and of course Mark Snow is trying to stay there. So there's been a need, and we've been talking to people, friends of First Sky Omaha directly, who think what Brother Muhammad just said is on the board level. It needs to be changed. Some change needs to happen there. Brooke says there's a teacher shortage everywhere. Even the same thing's going on in San Bernardino. There's a shortage of everything in San Bernardino, Brooke. So I ain't surprised about that at all.
Man.
Brianna Full says that there's about 400 teachers resigning or retiring from OPS this year, with only about 230 new hired to replace them this year. Scary for sure.
So the shortages will get worse.
Very much so. Also, Kimmer Snipes says, I've got so many thoughts on the response to academies and pathways. Oh, so this is the sorry about that. Academies and pathways. The pathways thing is what we were just talking about too. You were saying that maybe we're missing something about this pathways program, because we've been hearing some people speaking out saying stuff like that.
Initially you would think like it's a good idea. Again, it sets kids on a pathway, kind of gives them direction and gives them some structure into a career, which I'm all for, because a lot of people work jobs, and I'm all for people finding a career, finding something that you're passionate about, finding something that you have skills in, finding something that you can do and see yourself doing for a long period of time, or whether it's, with a certain employer or with another, like find your career. And I feel like the pathways would kind of lead to that. But I've been hearing a lot of pushback, a lot of people who, for some reason or another, think it's a bad idea. And I just kind of feel like Miss Snipes says, majority of the pushback, she said, what we got from Central. So I don't know what it's about. I'm not sure, because initially, again, my thought was that this would be a good thing.
Kimber Snipes, to finish her thought there, she says, I got so many thoughts on the response to academies and pathways, and I don't think the folks organizing for Central will agree with me. Let us know some of these thoughts that you're talking about for sure. I'd like to hear what you're thinking on that. Mama God gives us a good morning first, Sky. Good morning to you, Mama God.
Hey.
I heard you fired Buddy yesterday. Kimber Snipe says, my yes vote for it was about equity. No one school should have more to offer than the others. Okay. So that's part of the thing there. Brother Muhammad says, new superintendent. Okay. Kimber Snipe says, majority of the pushback we got was from Central. And I get it. People love their school, but fair is fair. Brother Muhammad is stressing again, board level issues start there. So interesting, man. We're all kind of searching for some of these answers here, because that's a pretty scary thing. If, like you said, like Brianna Full said, 300. How many people's leaving? 400 teachers are leaving.
Man,
OPS.
Only two something coming back.
Only 230 coming back. Facebook user says the teacher dropout rate and the student dropout rate tied to the curriculum. So there's that article. It was in the Friends of First Sky. I believe Brother Muhammad put that article up, talking about some of the things that the teachers said, the reasons why they were leaving. Now that was them saying that in a school newspaper. So they probably were giving you the safe answers, but that's a good question. It's a good question. Does this have to do with the way that our state treats education, sex ed, history, critical race theory? Are people dropping? Some of these teachers dropping off because of that? Weberize says, does any school get more alumni monetary support than Central?
I don't think so. There are a lot of alum. Central's a different thing, man. As far as OPS schools go.
I didn't go to school here, so this is all I'm learning. All this is new to me. I realize it's an Omaha thing. You meet somebody and be like, "What high school did you go to?" I was out of state, so I don't know nothing about it. Central is a big school, though. I do know that.
Centrally located.
Yep.
A lot of people went there.
It looks like there's a lot of construction going on the side on that building.
Yeah,
and it seems like it's pretty well funded. Kimber Snipe says Academies and Pathways was about making sure that all schools had a pathway for the students. Not all schools have a lot of the options. And I know, because my son was going to one of those schools. I would look at other schools and say it myself, how come Brian doesn't have this?
Man, or north or northwest.
Okay, so this is bringing some of this stuff into light. Now I can understand why people are pushing back on pathways. Only one school got it?
Yeah.
Brianna Full says some parents and students are not happy about the Pathways program for several reasons. One of them is that transportation, busing, is no longer available to some students if they pick a certain pathway.
Wow. Didn't know that. And to go back to Brother Muhammad's point, some of the teachers are acknowledging that. One again, this Brian Tyree says, "I don't think anyone is doing it out of spite or anger, but when you raise concerns over a period of time and you don't see things addressed, really the only thing you can do is voice your concerns by leaving." So there's definitely something going on between leadership and I don't just want to make it about OPS again. Even this article acknowledges that it is a nationwide issue. Um, but OPS being the largest, school district in Omaha, that's usually what these outlets are going to talk about.
Right.
But there's something to be said just about education in general across the country and how it's been impacted by this perfect storm, if you will, not just COVID-19 and the social interactions and how that's impacted social and financial situations of people, the school shootings, CRT, sex ed. There's a lot going on in society that's changing how schools are looked at, how schools are working, and some of these political moves are not helping. Again, a lot of these things are being politicized and kind of fed on by some of these politicians.
Yeah. Mr. Eric Phil says Buffett himself has donated to Central. So Central gets a lot of money. Kimmer Snipe says, "Hey, big school with a history of tradition. People don't like to change their tradition for sure." Alice Brown says Central College Prep. Mama God says Central has a strong alumni support.
Man, a lot of professional athletes that I know of went to Central.
Really?
Yeah, football, basketball, man, a lot.
Mr. Phil says my son will no longer get a school bus because the school he's opted into the last 2 years isn't his assigned pathway school. So firsthand, she's knows what's going on there. Brother Muhammad says Central was and has been modeled for the bougie. Where there is smoke, there is fire. The house is burning, said Dr. King.
Okay. There you go.
Well, this is interesting stuff here. News to me. Tamika Johnson says YouTube is acting up on me this morning. Am I the only one? You guys having problems with YouTube? For everybody that's on YouTube, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. If you're on Facebook, please do us a favor and share the show so we can get as many people talking here. If you're just joining us, 7:32. If you believe in the concept of time, we're right in the middle of talking about this mass exodus.
Man,
these teachers at Central. And really kind of trying to figure out why this is happening. It's a nationwide problem, but why in particular is this a story? Good question. I guess because Central is a pretty high profile school out here. Brooke says, I have another 2 years before I'm done with school, so I'm really wondering what the climate will be then. Our mom went to Central. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm definitely love to hear from you, Brooke. As far as what are you hearing from your classmates that are also going into education? What are your fears?
Yeah. Brianna Full says, we got to raise teacher pay, better benefits. We're the only school district in the metro that doesn't pay teachers health care 100%. Wow. Give them more planning time, more mental health supports. So there you go. Full for OPS. Brianna Full running for school board because she's like my brother Muhammad. She's saying the same thing. It might be something that needs to happen on a board level first. For sure. Brother Muhammad said, I posted a preview of my platform on the Facebook page. Tap in. Yeah, go to Friends of First Sky Omaha and you can kind of see his plan laid out. That's one thing about Brother Muhammad. He laid that plan out on paper right in front of you, make it clear as day. So definitely go check it out. Ms. Erkenfeld says Central is the same school that had a white staff come to school in Corn Road Extensions a couple weeks ago.
What? What? I ain't hear about that.
How do we not break that story?
What?
Yeah, we need to hear some more about that. I would like to know. Brooke says, my fears are that I will be stretched too thin and not paid enough. Yeah, Brooke, you might need to start looking at some private schools or something. See what's happening in Mandela or something.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, if you got that fight in you, ready to go tackle public school. Here's the other thing that I'm thinking too. I keep going back to, isn't it something like 70 or 80% of OPS is people of color?
That's from. Go ahead.
Big exodus of new schools and districts and white folks moving out west and separating all. There's a big separation of all these schools going on. It seems like OPS is turning into, only people of color that go there. So now, we got to think about those kinds of issues.
Man, that's where my mind went. I'm glad you went there because that's exactly it's an extreme, but I'm thinking of like Detroit school district. If you know about, how Detroit schools are getting down or going down, might I
Right.
say, there's students taking class in below freezing temperatures because there's no heat in some of the schools. So again, it's an extreme, but kind of seems like OPS is going in that direction rather than the other, as far as like you said, the mass exodus of white students, now mass exodus of teachers. And as we see, there's already going to be more shortage.
And look, man, I guarantee you, I believe that it's all this stuff that just happened with the way that UNL was trying to make a plan, and Ricketts and them was trying to get people fired, and there's this whole climate of no CRT, don't teach certain things in schools, and I guarantee you, there's some of these teachers that are leaving. Somebody is leaving because they're in a district full of kids of color and don't want to do the CRT thing or something.
I just had an epiphany.
I seen it.
Think Roe v. Wade
Mm.
and some of the comparisons that were made in that decision. Brown versus Board of Education. Separate but equal. We could be stepping in, and this is a thought I just had. So just follow along with me. You know where I'm going, Paul.
We just talked about this. That all that Roe v. Wade, and then next is going to be a whole bunch of that kind of thing.
Exactly. Whole bunch of other things. Again, it's just a thought I just had. But
wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's a far reach to make that connection. I mean, we've already talked about the Trump flunkies coming out of the woodwork trying to run for state school board.
That's right.
So again, it's
trying to dissolve the school board. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm saying it's chess, not checkers, y'all. It's chess, not checkers. So what are the pawns being put in place to do?
We're in a state where our governor wanted to get rid of the school board.
We have several Trump loyalists running for governor. Where is all of this going? What's the big picture?
Brooke in the chat says, I'm definitely looking into private and charter. I have to keep all doors open for
Man.
I heard that. Ariel's 402, Mayor Sanchez says South Omaha has a new school soon to be open off of 60th and L to ease overcrowding of the surrounding schools. That's what's up.
That's where a lot of the teachers, not a lot, but a couple of the teachers are going.
Oh,
to the new schools.
That's okay. Kimber Snipe says, I wonder, would there be this much of a mass exodus of white students if we didn't have our first black or female superintendent?
I didn't think about that part.
She said that whole part.
Man.
Yeah, man. Ms. Erica says there's been a lot of blame given to the woman from Jersey. She's talking about that whole cornrow thing going on there. Yeah, we'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that.
Wanda Lewis says have to give it to all the school board candidates. We'll have quite the challenge. Some like never before. That's the truth. That is the truth. Oof.
Man.
Got a good morning, fellas, from Black Dynamite. What's going on, brother? Cameron Snipe says, when I was running for school board, you couldn't get a pack to look at school board races. She says South Omaha has 4 new schools that have been built. They're really expanding over there. That's what's going on, man. Brianna Full says, how are we going to staff 2 new schools when we can't fully staff the ones we already have? Let's talk about that. 400 teachers leaving, 230 hired, and they got 4 new schools on the south side.
Oh, she's talking about board president.
Oh, what was you saying about the
lady from Jersey?
There's been a lot of blame given to the woman from Jersey. Okay. Board president. Well,
yeah, I thought she might have been talking about the superintendent, but I wasn't sure, where she was from.
Board president.
Yeah, I thought she came from Philly.
No, that was isn't it the oh, maybe I don't know. Now I'm getting
you thinking of Chamber, the new Chamber president? She's from St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, St. Louis, that's right. Yeah, I agree with what Wanda Lewis just said too, man. You guys got a job ahead of you on the board. First of all, you're on a board that the governor doesn't want to exist.
Hello.
Second of all, since he can't make it go away, you're on a board that the governor's trying to get one of his cronies to run. And in the midst of everything that's going on here with the mass exodus, is not enough teachers, and the so ons and the so forths. Hot mess.
A lot at stake for our children and our youth.
Thanks for all your feedback on this. This is something that we're definitely gonna have to go back to. This is why I love this show right here. So the headline is about this mass exodus going on, and here we are, kind of digging deep and reading between the lines and thinking about some of the tying it into some of the things we talked about before, and how this is all kind of being put together. I would like to talk to some of these teachers and find out why they're really leaving. Like I said, there's a lot of testimonies in that school newspaper, but that's the school newspaper. How how open they're gonna be there.
And I'm kind of surprised by this as well. Now that you mention that, because again, we have partners at the Reader, we have partners, in news media. OPS isn't always the most, readily open.
Right.
There's been a lot of times when we try to talk to teachers about stories and things like that, and we've got the cold shoulder, just like, no, we can't talk about that. Like, we want to, but we can't for one reason or another.
And not to mention, I remember us talking about this back in the pandemic days. I had friends that are teachers in OPS that was talking about leaving, but they couldn't come forward and say they were leaving, even act like they were going to leave. They were afraid for the pushback for them saying anything or speaking up about anything. So that's why this headline hit me. Like, 23 teachers are planning on leaving. They've gotten together and.
And the fact that this story came about because there were already whispers about it in the hallway. So would they just, had this story not come out, were they just going to leave?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it don't feel like the story got broke. It don't feel like they uncovered anything. It sounds like they were making an announcement, especially to have a correlating article in the school newspaper,
right,
talking about all their reasons for leaving. So,
and again, if this is OPS wide or even nationwide, I want to hear the numbers. What are the real numbers?
Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break and coming back. We actually have a special guest in the house. Chris Bowling from the Reader is coming in. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. It is It is May the 9th. Contrary to what my date says up there. So sorry about that. But stay tuned. We'll be right back. Jump back into the chat and get our special guest. First Sky Omaha. Stay tuned. Don't you touch nothing. We'll be right back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. All of you, the chat chimers, thanks for joining us in this conversation, man. The conversation's getting deep. Stephen Abraham says we got a huge problem in the school district. For real. Kimber Snipes says, talking about being on the school board, it's a whole job. And don't be disappointed when all of your ideas are not able to just happen. You have 8 other board members you have to work with. And that's her speaking from experience for sure.
Yeah, she knows.
Miss Erica Fell says, I made the post about the white Central high school teacher public The comments were interesting. I lost 4 people from my Facebook due to it being 2 people messaged me that they learned some things. Okay. We'll have to go back and definitely check that story out. Facebook user says whoever wins the OPS board position should be supported by all who ran for the position. It's going to take a team effort. Quite sure they will. I've definitely seen everybody be real respectful and work together, and so I think that we'll all be supportive of whoever gets that seat. Also, Leia Keister in the chat says, I wonder if any of the teachers would speak anonymously. Very good questions. We would like to find out. So, like I said, we'll talk to our colleagues all around too, from the Reader, Flywater Free Press, Noise, see if they've talked to anybody, and see if any of their articles are correlating as well. Speaking of that, it is 7:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, it is time for our special guest from the Reader today. We have Brother Chris Bowling in the house.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, brother. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Just was loading in the window AC units this morning, so that's a good way to wake up. And now I'm here, so I'm feeling great.
Don't throw your back out, man. Don't throw your back out.
I mean, dude, they're heavy and they're in need of a cleaning for sure. They're very old, but they get the job done. So
I'm glad you did it, brother, because it's gonna be 92 degrees today.
Oh yeah, it was very necessary. It was very necessary.
Man, you're looking good, man. You got like a Aloha shirt on, kind of. You got your stash coming. You look like you on vacation, man. Or
I was gonna say it,
or running drugs in Miami or something.
I mean, the weather's heating up, so
okay, looking like an island boy.
I love it. I love it.
The glasses to match too. I like the look.
I know. Honestly, I'm kind of looking in the video today. I'm looking pretty good.
Looking good, bro. Looking good. Go ahead and give it up. It feels like it's been a while since you've been back here, man. How you been? What you been up to?
It has been a while. Just the same old. We've got some new interns starting with the Reader who we're really excited about working with, and we got already one of them is just diving headfirst into abortion coverage and Roe v. Wade stuff. So that's been really interesting, and covering housing stuff still, covering education stuff. It is really interesting that you guys are really getting into that central student newspaper story because Buddy, you said something about how it's been hard talking with OPS, and I mean I'm just gonna put it out there because I don't really care. They have been really hard to talk to. We were trying to do a story, a positive, like, hey, how did a school go from having issues to being to really getting back on track, doing well, all that sort of stuff. And they're like, we just don't know if we can make that happen. And it's like, isn't that the kind of story you would want to tell? So it's been really frustrating. So yeah, if there's any teachers in the chat who would like to talk anonymously, you can email me at Chris CHRIA or CHRIS. It's too early.
Okay.
At thereader.com. But yeah, no, we're trying to do something specifically about Lathrop Elementary School. And so if there's anyone who knows people who work there or anything like that, and they want to slide into the email, please do, because I think it's a great story, but we just can't get the access.
What's the story behind that? What's the story?
Just, they went from having issues to, I mean, if you believe in the school grade kind of thing is problematic in itself, but going from like a struggling school to like a good school or whatever. So that's basically the story, and just figuring out, hey, how did they do it? Who are the real people that make it happen? What are they doing? Is it, is it some kind of training? Is it some kind of like, local staff thing that I mean, I don't know what it is. That's why we need to talk to people and figure out, but it's hard when they say, no. So I don't know. It's tough. Yeah.
That's been our experience. The experience that I've heard from all you guys and everybody else, all of our friends that are reporters that always try to get the story. It's always like, no comment. We can't speak.
Yeah.
And I was shocked at seeing an article that was like 23 teachers.
It was, I mean, great story. Being in the school, you obviously just have different access, but definitely a huge kudos to those student journalists who did that. I mean, that's fantastic. So
I'm actually surprised that they have some of these teachers named in this.
I don't know. Sometimes people think like when you talk to a student newspaper, it's like not as serious, but I mean,
it's out.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. So
I don't know. I think they sugarcoated with their reasons for leaving in that article.
yeah, that's also true. But I mean, it's something. It's more than we've been able to get. So
And I also I guess if you leaving, then why not? You know, the fear
Yeah,
has always
yeah.
been a fear of getting fired for speaking out. But if you're already planning on going, I guess no point in not speaking. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
Snakes, if
very
you
true.
can speak to that, man. I'm kind of curious to what's if you can, if you can speak to that as a former
Oh,
board member.
why are they leaving? Or
No, why? What's this
oh,
whole code of silence?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons people can be that way. I mean, I do think OPS is under a lot of stress right now with, lack of teachers and still dealing with the pandemic. And there's just such a wide range of, I think, needs that kids have. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't want to,
Mhm.
guess
Yeah.
too much,
Is
but
is that Lothrop story? Is that something that Bridget is working on right now?
yeah, yeah. So I see Miss Erica Felt has some connections there. So I think Leia, one of our other reporters, has her contact info. So I'm gonna have to make a note right now for
Yeah, go ahead.
Bridget to reach out to Miss Erica Felt. But
reporter always got his pen and pad handy.
well,
Man, gotta be ready. Gotta be ready. Definitely when talking to the chat chimers.
Of course,
exactly.
you looking like Miami '83, like Miss Erica Fell says. So you might not want to write no numbers down. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, not put it in any writing.
But actually, I do want to kind of switch gears, and it's connected as far as just some of the things that the children are going through and the housing struggles that some of
Hmm.
them might be impacted by. Because I know that's
Mhm.
kind of your focus
Yeah.
on the whole disinvested tract. Kind of where are you in that coverage as far as housing? What are you looking at right now?
Well, there's a couple different things that I'm looking at. So, one story that I'm doing right now is about there's a new program called the Metro Housing Collaborative, which I don't know if you guys have talked about that or not, but um, basically it was this idea. I think late in like maybe 2020, early 2021, where they just said, "Hey, we have all these nonprofits and like match and these people trying to do." Very similar work. Why don't we team up and do a better job together? And it's been really interesting because it's not just like, these nonprofits that are trying to help people who are struggling with housing, but they're actually working with landlords as well. So there's a group called the Metro Omaha Property Owners Association. They're like one of probably the biggest groups of landlords in town. And MAPOA and this housing collaborative are working together to try to solve like affordable housing issues and, trying to stop like unnecessary evictions like before they happen. And, because I don't know, they're complicated situations, like why somebody maybe isn't up on their rent. It isn't always just a greedy landlord or a bad tenant. There's just life things that happen. And so there's options here with some new organizations that have been created and some mediation stuff. So it's really interesting to hear people like on both sides really talking about talking about positive solutions and that sort of stuff. So that's been really cool. And looking into city sales of land a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, talking to people who have bought land and just what that experience was like, because obviously the whole library situation was kind of like, how is this supposed to work?
Hmm.
And it's been pretty interesting. I mean, a lot of properties obviously are, the city acquires in North Omaha, and so those are a lot of the properties sold. And there's just people who it takes a lot longer than they feel like it should. They feel like they don't have the city's not giving them the deference that they might give like a wealthy philanthropy. And so, that's been really interesting. And then, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff. I'm editing a podcast right now with a guy who he runs this Instagram account called East of 72nd, and it's kind of like, oh, look at this old building, and here's the story behind it. But recently, with all of the development happening and knocking down old buildings, he's kind of taken this like hard activists like stance and trying to like rally people a little bit more. So, just getting his perspective on like is it weird how development works in Omaha? Is this normal? Is this not normal? Like, what's your take on it? So it's been very busy.
Is he from Omaha or is he from somewhere else?
No, so he's actually from Missouri originally, but he works in Omaha now, and like a I'm not supposed to say exactly where he works, but it's something with historical architecture, so he knows what he's talking about.
So
Okay.
he's approaching this like, is this like from an outsider's
Oh
perspective?
yeah, well, so he lived in St. Louis, which I haven't spent much time in St. Louis, but they apparently have a much like like he's like, oh, the plumber like knows the history of like the building that they're in, like all the neighbors know the history of their building, like they really value that historic architecture, and it's
Mm.
Hmm.
just not like that in Omaha. Like, I mean, it is in some places, and I think a lot of people do know their history, but I mean, we're the city where there was the site of the greatest destruction of historic architecture in the nation. So, um,
Wow.
so it's like that history is there, and I mean he went to school in Savannah, Georgia, which obviously has a completely different take on historic architecture. So,
Savannah.
um, yeah, it's just interesting, like when you decide to tear something down and when you decide to keep it, and he had one quote that was really nice about like these buildings don't belong to us at the end of the day, like our name might be on the deed, but they belong to the people who built them and they belong to the people who are going to come after us, so it's part of your community and it's
Word.
not just a
Mm.
building. So yeah, lots of
Uh,
good stuff.
I can't wait to check that podcast out. I want to hear what he has to say about the library building going
Yeah.
away and all that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
sounds pretty interesting for sure.
Hmm.
Just to jump in the chat real quick, Brooke was asking, did somebody say something about Lorthrop? Yeah, we're gonna one of the reader um writers,
Journalist.
or yeah, journalists are gonna write an article about what's going on with that school, with that school there. So stay tuned for that for sure. Von Chapman in the chat says it's a cancer in public education throughout the country. We must teach the truth of how this country has lied, and because of the lie, the children are in revolt. Dr. King stated, "Truth crushed to the ground will rise." Here we are.
Hmm.
All right. So, also, Brother Muhammad looks like in the chat says that there are a few nonprofits that are the bloodsuckers of the poor. They are not doing what they said, yet they still get dollars year after year. Yet the problems still keep growing, from education to affordable housing, etc. It's the hamster wheel.
Hmm.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, appreciate your comments, and also appreciate the work that you're doing on these stories. This has been a very interesting series, and it's been a great deep dive into some of these things that we talk about all the time.
Hmm.
Anything standing out to you lately, as far as your stories, your storytelling is concerned? Something that's got you fired up?
God, I don't know. There's just so much. I mean, obviously the Roe v. Wade stuff is, going to be super interesting. So I haven't been paying too much attention on where they're at with the special session, but yeah, one of our new intern, Issa. So her first day, I was like, "There's a protest outside City Hall. Do you want to go and like try to talk to people, and then, but also try to find some people where we can go a little bit deeper." So there is an independent clinic in Bellevue, I believe, and um, I've just never heard of them before, and so we were trying to kind of do like a little feature profile about them, just to understand like who are these people, like what are they dealing with, what are they thinking at this point in time. So that's a really big thing, obviously. And then yeah, we're getting ready to transition from. So I've been doing housing, and Bridget's been doing education, and we wanted to cover 4 topics in total. So now we have to transition to something new. So now,
Hmm.
after this issue, I'll be getting into criminal justice, and there's lots being done on criminal justice these days. So I was thinking it might be a good idea to go more of like that mental health route and like really dive deep on, you know, what are the solutions that have been utilized elsewhere? Why don't we have them here? Could they work here? How would they work here? Because it just seems, just from what I've heard in the past, I don't know how it's changed, but I just know that there's people in county and city government that are trying to address mental health in people who come back again and again, and it's not obviously a criminal delinquency issue, it's a mental health issue, and so they've been trying to help those people out, but they just have so few resources to offer that they can only end up, and it takes a lot more time to work on someone with their mental health than it does to put them in a jail cell. And so it's been very So I don't know. I'm very curious to find out where we're at with that. And I don't know. There's lots of criminal justice type things. Obviously, we're going to have the county attorney race, coming up here pretty soon, and that's going to be a whole interesting thing. The election. I mean,
Yep.
there's just too much going on these days.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited to see what you uncover with the mental health track. Of course, we just covered the investigation that's going on. The Taj Mahal announced after the arrest of the woman who suffered from mental illness.
Hmm.
I'm not sure which channel or outlet that was reported on, but it was about a week or so ago.
Hmm.
And just kind of curious where they are with the Cahoots program. And yes, there has been a lot of investment in facilities and things like that, more beds, more medication. But
Hmm.
kind of curious as to what the criminal reform, response is and where they are with the Cahoots program. Last time I checked, there's like one mental health I guess specialist or worker per precinct.
Yeah.
Has that expanded? I am
Well,
kind of
yeah, that's
curious
the thing
to
is
check
like
that.
I mean I've heard that the Cahoots program, if anyone doesn't know, is that program out in Oregon, which is just like only mental health responders. So there's not even if it's a mental health situation, you don't even get law enforcement involved, and it's had a lot of success. I don't know if we're actually doing that yet in I don't know what's happening with that in Douglas County or Omaha, but
Last thing I heard, Omaha police has one
yeah,
mental health per precinct. I don't know if it's specifically Cahoots program, but I know they have one mental health responder per precinct, which is
Yeah, they
not
do have
enough.
that, and I was trying a long time ago to do, like, a ride along with that person just to see,
Hmm.
what's that like, and I don't remember why it didn't work out, but obviously now that I'm transitioning to criminal justice, that'll be something I'm really interested in looking into. Just I'm like, what do they do, like, all day? Like, are they actually going out on calls, or are they, sifted through paperwork back like, what are they doing? So,
Hmm.
that'll
Messing
be
with people.
interesting.
No, it's fun. Yeah, man. I think, and I also think that because of the fact that you got this new look, you should really be checking out some white collar crime. How cocaine comes into this.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot that you can go undercover and do, bro. I
I
mean,
know exactly, but
Not
yeah, we gotta
undercover.
shut down the supply.
check him in, brother, looking like Miami in '84. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, we were with Chris Baby Boy Bowling from the Reader,
Mhm.
man, and talking about continuing on the conversation about the articles that they've been writing about the
Hmm.
disinvested situation in North Omaha. We just things have changed now after these series of articles are getting going because there is some investment that's happening now in North
Yes.
Omaha coming.
Mm. I like what you
And
did there.
well, thank you. Thanks to brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne and others, Tony Vargas, Megan Hunt, and put some respect on all their names. And they are bringing in some funds, some millions of dollars into North and South Omaha. And so now that you guys have been going on and on with the disinvested situation,
Mhm.
you probably have an up close and personal look at where some of these funds ought to be going. In your opinion,
Hmm.
what's some of the big areas where you think we should have some investment in North Omaha now?
Interesting. Well, I mean, I think what they outlined is pretty accurate. I mean, I know there's a really big amount for housing and education. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think everything they named is good. I have just been, and I'm glad you brought that up. It reminds me I need to email Justin Wayne and Trump McKinney back, or email them again. But I just personally don't know how exactly that money is going to be allocated. Maybe there's something that I've like missed along the way, but I kind of want to hear like what are the specifics? Like, are we going to be building more housing? Are we going to be rehabbing housing? Are we going to, try to bolster city programs that address, things like lead in homes? I mean, I don't know. There's a whole lot of different stuff that could go into. I mean, there's definitely a problem in East Omaha of, poor housing stock. So rehabbing housing could be a big thing. But, there's also the problem of like you still see a whole lot of empty lots, especially in North Omaha, where nothing has been built. And so building housing could also be a big thing. I mean,
Well, we know all the ways that it could be spin on, but what are the things that stand out to you personally? What would you like to see that money go to first?
I guess if I had my perfect world, what would be great is if they found local, people who know how to, build and design, and they built affordable housing like that would last for a long time, not just like for 10 or 20 years or whatever, but
Mm.
and things that look like, they're not going to be here today and gone in the next like 20 years, but look like they're going to be around for a long time. Things that look like the neighborhood, that are built by people in the neighborhood. I mean, just because I'm like thinking about housing, I feel like everyone knows at this point, but housing dictates basically everything else. I mean, if you don't have a good place to live, you're not going to do well in school. You're not going to do well in your job. You could, if you have lead in your home, you could actually, it could be through no fault of your own, but it's going to affect your cognitive abilities. So that would probably be my thing, is building quality, affordable housing that's here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legit. Definitely feel
agree.
the same way. Well, right on, man. Well, keep up the good work. Like I said, really appreciate the deep dive that you guys are doing over there. Also, there's the you guys got a little bit of a shakeup happening. Our friend and mentor John Heaston has been out for a little while, so you guys have been revamping and holding it down over there, which
Man.
I am very impressed by, because I know John personally. I know that he's one of them kind of cats that does it all himself.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. And
so
now
for
that he's
you,
out of the hospital, he is calling all of us and being like, "Oh, actually, we need to like do this. We need to do that." Like we were like putting together budgets and plans and all this stuff, and all of a sudden everything we did was wrong. We have to like redo it now, and we have to do even more. And so he's back for sure.
Yeah.
It's like he was never even gone.
yeah.
Not
But
skipping the beat.
there was a period of time where you guys were holding it down on your own and making sure that things still happen and happen on time.
Oh
I know
yeah.
it was tough. Lynn Sanchez is a friend of mine too. I know that she, I hear from her all the time as well. So so yeah, just really proud of you guys over there holding things down, and proud of John and pushing through, and just the whole team and everything the reader is doing. It's heavy, man. So keep up the good work and stay safe. It's hard out here for a reporter.
Yeah. I mean, I've not had any sticky situations yet, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. So, yeah, but likewise, the respective back to you guys. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for doing what you do, and yeah, thanks for everyone who's in the chat chiming in. And I'll say once again, my email is CHRIS at thereader.com. And I'm also Chris M. Bowling on Twitter. So Brooke Allen, I don't know if she's still here, but yeah, if you have anything about Lothrop that you want to talk about, hit me up. Would love to talk to you.
Chris at thereader.com or .org?
Oh, .com.
Got it. Okay, cool.
There you go.
We're a company, man. We're making big
bucks. Man, the reader doing the good work, man. Chris, always a pleasure speaking with you. Again, check out the latest issue of the Reader. It is available now, both online and in person. So again, if you have a vendor close to you, definitely go check them out and get the actual copy. And as always, Chris, until next time, take care of yourself, man.
Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Dirk Diggler Bowling in the house. Peace, brother. Peace. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, there it is. We're going to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers, it's going down. Stay tuned. We got Alicia Shelton coming up next. We're going to be talking about a few things. It's 8:08 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, stay tuned. Special guest coming up. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you. Chris Bowling just was on his way out. He said, let people know, definitely check out that article coming up about Lorthrop. He said there's some good things going on that they're doing. But even though there's some good things that they're doing, OPS still don't really want to talk about it. So I'm really anxious to read this article that who is it? Bridget Fogarty wrote? Is it?
Yep.
Bridget?
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be coming up next issue too. So definitely check that out. So thank you very much for joining us and chiming into the chat. Everybody's giving Chris. Everybody's washing hands with Chris at the reader. Wash hands. That's what's up. And Leah Keisha says, thank you for all your incredible work. Definitely, for sure. Yeah, Arrows 402. It does give a little Gypsy Lover vibe on that track.
Yeah,
that's a Boogie Jones classic. Brooke says, my son will be going. Yeah, little man will be going there. And so she's eager to find out. Okay. Like I said, he came back in just to let everybody know it's good news about Lorthrop. Good news. They're doing some good things over there. So even though it's hard, OPS don't even want to talk about the good stuff.
Man.
So is what it is. Also, just if you're just joining us once again, this is the day before vote day. And we just want to remind everybody that is the case. You definitely need to go, especially if you're in North and South Omaha, go check your polling places out because they've changed. So if you might be somewhere else this time, you got to come and kind of do a little research beforehand, check it out. And also, there's plenty of ride programs going on. Metro's got free bus rides to the polls. Of course, you can go to Black Votes Matter and hit up Preston Love and them for rides. So there's a lot going on with that. And to speak more on that, we got a special guest in the house. We definitely have somebody who is a friend of First Sky Omaha and that we're friends with and support all the time. Alicia Shelton is in the house.
Hey.
Alicia Shelton running for Congress this time around. How are you this morning?
Hello.
I am doing well. So busy. And so I'm so glad that you guys could fit me into the schedule and excited to be here to talk with everyone.
Great.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for joining. Yeah.
I know it's pretty busy the day before the election. How you feeling leading up? How you feel like the campaign is going? I know we've been seeing you busy in the streets. So how's the response been?
Yeah, the response has been really, really well. Unfortunately, there are things happening on a federal level that are grabbing people's attention, especially the draft opinion that was leaked from the Supreme Court regarding Roe v. Wade being overturned. And so I have actually been able to connect with voters with my own personal story, which was not something that I anticipated. But it's been people, even we were at Cinco de Mayo, the parade on Saturday, and people stopped and talked with me about it. And they are really in fear that we are going to, Roe v. Wade will be overturned and that we are going to lose the right to choice.
Wow.
And so I've been able to say, I'm passionate about this. My story with IVF. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but a few years ago, my husband and I tried to grow our family with IVF, and we were successful. We got pregnant. However, 6 weeks after, we were at least 6 weeks, I can't remember because everything is a blur now, but after 6 weeks, we went to our ultrasound and found out that we were in the process of miscarrying. So I was still producing HCG. And anyone who has been pregnant before, they should understand once you are no longer, when your body is starting to miscarry, and if you have HCG, then you either have to do surgery or a shot. It becomes very deadly. You only have a small amount of time to make a decision. So the shot that I chose is considered a medication abortion. And if Congressman Don Bacon and the GOP had their way, I would not be able to receive that shot if Roe v. Wade gets overturned. If I was in Texas today, I would not be able to receive that shot. I'd be arrested, like the woman who was arrested. And so this is really serious because at the end of the day, people want to make their own choices with their own doctors. And so I was surprised to have voters stop me and speak about it and say how excited they were that I'm sharing my story. And it's just been really amazing to be received that way.
Man, I just want to say personally, that's powerful and that's amazing. My wife and I have dealt with similar situations. as far as miscarriages and things like that. So I know how just devastating. I've seen, how firsthand how devastating that could be. So to just be able to speak on it and kind of use that to empower others is not an easy thing to do. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I do see that accessibility to healthcare and reproductive rights is one of your platform points. So it is, kind of good timing as far as your time to shine. I am curious. I've heard a lot of senators and a lot of legislators say that now the real fight begins. I'm kind of curious, how do you envision, if you are elected, combating this as a congresswoman?
Yeah, I think it's high time for us to pass federal legislation to protect choice, to protect Roe v. Wade. And I think it's quite easy to do so. I think we also need to, healthcare is something separate. Right now, we have the Affordable Care Act and public access, or I think we could bring the public option to give people better access and reduce the premiums. That's something we could do right away. But we definitely need to work as hard as we can to move to a better healthcare system. The federal legislation to protect Roe v. Wade is something that will help because it's a law. It's not something that can be overturned, right? Our laws are the way of the land, and it's high time that we do something like this. And so that's the first thing that I would be working with. And I thankfully have already received information from folks who have endorsed me, like Emily's list, on what this could look like day one after we are elected.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the incumbent has some pretty interesting stances on women's reproductive rights and things like that. I kind of like your saying bringing home the bacon. Is that?
Yeah, I've been asking everyone to help me bring home the bacon. Here's the thing, what I have learned is, and if you even look at polling numbers, most people support abortion access. Most people understand it's a case-by-case scenario. And in the country, the greatest country of the world, here in America, we want to be able to access the American dream. And I think part of that dream is having freedom to choose what we want, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in our career field, right? We want the gift of our freedom, our rights, and our choice. And so most folks support it. It's really disheartening to hear him say that he's pro-life no matter what. He does not support life-saving measures. And so that means, you mean to tell me if your daughter, if your wife had a scenario where they would need abortion access to save their life, you would tell the doctor no? I don't believe that. I don't believe it would go down that way. And that is unfair. And that is what we are fighting for, simply the right to have what we need to survive. And so we need a congressperson who understands that, and that person is me. I also want to bring up some points about voting today. It is very important for anyone who got a vote by mail ballot that you sign that ballot, but also that you do not put it in the mail today, because it will not be counted. It will not be received in time for it to be counted. It has to be received tomorrow. So please drop it off. You can even go to the Douglas County Election Commission and drop it off in those boxes. And for your vote to be counted, you can do that tonight. You can even do that tomorrow. So I just want to make sure that we bring it up. I heard you guys bring up the change in polling locations. You can access that at the Douglas County Election Commission website as well. That's also very important. So just wanted to touch on that.
Thank you. Jumping in the chat real quick, I do see some people in the chat saying they're having a hard time seeing the chat. So let us know if that's the case. There's not really anything I can do about it here. It may be the program or Facebook. But thanks for letting us know that that's the case. We'll read off as many of the comments as we can. Also, Leah Keister in the chat is saying, if you experience any problems with early voting or at your polling place on election day, you can call the National Voter Assistance Hotline number. So keep that title in your mind, the National Voter Assistance Hotline number. Google that and get that number and call if you're having any problems. Also, a Black Dynamite in the chat says, I saw a cold-blooded status the other day saying those pro-lifers that want to overturn abortion won't adopt any of those children.
Oh, man.
Cold.
Not only that, they're voting against SNAP benefits, right? We don't have adequate housing for these folks. We have so many people in the foster care system. So if we're going to talk about it, let's really talk about what you could do to support life.
Right.
And there's also, so sorry to jump in here. I just thought about it.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's also a local number that you can call if you have any problems voting, and it goes to the Douglas County Election Commission. It's 402-444-VOTE. Easy to remember. Most of our city numbers start with 444. So 402-444-VOTE. Also, if you are an independent and you want to vote on the Democratic ballot, you must ask for it at the polling location. They will not give it to you. So if you want to have access to vote for the congressional candidates, myself or Senator Vargas, you have to ask for the Democratic ballot. You cannot ask for the Republican ballot because they closed their election this year. So you actually have to be a member of the Republican Party to vote on their ticket.
There you go. Jumping back to the chat real quick, Von Chapman says all political moves made by Republicans is about total control. Example, Roe v. Wade. That's quite the thing. Leia Keister is thanking you. She says, thank you for sharing your story, Alicia. Appreciate that. Ms. Erkenfeld says, right. It's not that we're pro-abortion, just freedom of choice in healthcare. Okay. Chrissy Norris says, not to mention there is a baby formula shortage.
Man, I heard about that.
Isn't that scary? We can't even feed the babies that, and not only that, we only have a few years ago I had to help a client, a mother, get access to donor breast milk for her child. We don't have a donor bank in Nebraska. We have one in Iowa. That's the closest place. So if you really, I don't know if anybody has ever researched this, but there are some people who donate milk. They do it to hospitals like to the NICU, et cetera. But if your child is outside of that and you need donated breast milk, there are only a limited amount of places you can get it in the U.S. So that's even difficult. We've got to support our kiddos.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough, man. Stephen Abraham in the chat got a question. He says, are you supportive of gender equality? If so, would you be supportive of reproductive rights for individuals of the LGBTQ community?
Yes, absolutely. That's an easy answer. I support all measures, right? Look, we're all people. However you identify yourself, that is your choice, right? And so whatever you need in order to be happy and whole, or, you know, access with your family, I support all of that, including making sure that these rights are affordable, including like IVF measures. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious. I didn't want to switch gears, if that's all right, Paul. I don't know if you had any other comments.
I was just going to read the last comment, but go ahead. We'll come back to that.
Okay, because I want to go back to what someone said as far as the total control comment in Roe v. Wade, and we sort of touched on it. Precious sort of alluded to it as well, as far as the rippling effect of Roe v. Wade, and if it is overturned, you know, what can we see coming down the pike? And again, if you are elected to Congress, you know, we got the presidential election coming up, and we know that there has been a lot of attacks on voting rights, which I know is another one of your platform points. You sort of alluded to it with the voting in this election, but I'm kind of curious as far as your thoughts, and you know, what are you prepared to fight for and coming up in the next 2 or so years, as far as what you plan, you know, how you envision our vote being attacked?
Yeah, buddy. Oh man, I envision them attacking gay marriage. Interracial marriage is something that we had fought for the right for, and I don't think people bring that up enough. That's something that I think we're going to have to fight for. I think we're going to have to fight for health protections as far as like birth control, contraceptives. That's something that we're going to have to make sure we still have access to, because it's going to be very easy for them to try to push for insurance companies to no longer cover that. Because that's an easy link, right, to think about abortion access, right? So there is so much that's coming down the pipe, and if this happens, then we don't even know what they're going to try to create for a loophole. They might say that, you know, the family has to agree. There are some, believe it or not, some doctors who will not let people with uteruses get hysterectomies unless their partner agrees to it. So when you talk about the ripple effect this can have. We are already dealing with health disparities in our healthcare system. You are really just adding fuel to the fire, and I am terrified of what it's going to look for. So I'm doing as much research I can, and I am ready to fight for our freedom, for our rights, whatever that looks like. The right to marry someone, the right to have access to health care, all of those rights I'm going to be prepared to fight for. And I am very worried about the effect that this will have.
In the chat, Senator Carol Blood for governor, put some respect on her name, says IVF won't happen if Nebraska passes the recent abortion bill. Instead, these doctors become felons and can go to prison for up to 20 years if included in insurance. Wow. First of all, thank you for Senator Blood for coming on. Don't know if we told you that before, but you spreading the word on your end. We got a lot of people chimed into the chat because of that, and we really appreciate that. A lot of people who are running, especially, and we try to make sure that we can show everybody and let everybody get to know the candidates, which is why we have Alicia Shelton on today. Alicia Shelton is running for Congress. If you're just joining us, 8:25. If you believe in the concept of time, Alicia Shelton is here to talk about some of these issues and has been very clear on some of the things that have been going on and where she stands and what needs to happen. So we appreciate you both. Sean McCarthy in the chat says most third trimester abortions are from people who want to become pregnant, but oftentimes major birth defects, major meaning zero quality of life, don't occur until the third trimester.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I want to thank you all for having me on. I'm so sorry I'm getting like the tap that I gotta head out. Roll. It's been a very, very busy day. Okay. If there are questions though, if you guys want to place them in the chat, I will come back here later on today and answer them. And thank you for everyone who has added in. I actually am very good friends now with my IVF doctor, and she has stated, Dr. Delaney, Abigail Delaney is amazing, has given me additional information and resources to speak out. And so absolutely, we have to make sure that we have this right, because modern medicine, so many people access it, guys. So please vote, please participate. We need your voice to be heard. We have to start being involved in the choices that are happening in our city, and that starts federally as well.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll definitely see you again soon. Good luck in the race.
Yes, all right. Thank you all. Take care.
You too.
Right, have a good one. There you go. Alicia Shelton running for Congress. Go to aliciashelton.com and check her out. Brother Star Trek Rich put that in the chat there, so really appreciate that. Yeah, man. That was great. She always has very clear answers to the questions that being asked. Man, and always confronts those questions head on. So, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Alicia, for sure. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump back into the chat and also jump back into some other stories. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down 8:27 right now. If you're keeping track of time, we'll be back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul, Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers. Thanks for everybody that is chiming into the chat and has lots and lots and lots to say and share. And thank you for everybody who's been sharing the show on your page as well. Getting a lot of shares. And yeah, man, that's what's up. Got a lot of thanks for Alicia coming on in. I appreciate you guys being so polite and thanking her for coming in as well. Christy Norris says Alicia Shelton for Congress, man. They're really, really pushing. So that's what's up. And as you can see, like Christy Norris says, Alicia Shelton will be popping into different businesses today. Be sure to keep an eye on her FB page, Facebook page to see where we are. Come see us if you have a moment. Yeah. So go meet the candidate in person. And yeah, this is the beginning of vote week. Tomorrow is the day. And so we really appreciate everybody who is also reminding us of what to do there. So again, do not put your ballot in the box, in the mailbox. It will not get there by tomorrow. If you can't get there tomorrow to your polling place, then you can go to the office today and in person. What was it called? The Douglas County Commissioners. Yeah. Yep. So this is the day to do that. And again, you know, if we haven't stressed that the primaries are important, just know that it's absolutely imperative that happens. So you got to make it happen. Sorry, I got caught up reading the chat there. Areas 402 says, I hear Gap Band. Yeah, you know Gap Band was an influence on me. They dropped the bomb on me for real. Mama God says the saddest part about this congressional race is that we have two strong Dems running. Most of the time I vote, I select the better of the two evils. Not the case in this race. Man, you know, it's not normal that we have to always choose the better of two evils. That's really kind of like the corrupted way of having to do it. And then it's sad that we're all used to that more than the other.
Right. Selecting from qualified candidates that go along with our view, you know.
There you go.
Have you ever been represented? Really? That's the question.
That's a very good question. Yeah. But yes, we do have two Dems. As Mama God says, Tony Vargas, who we had on last Friday, and Alicia Shelton, both running for the seat. And just like with the everybody who's running for OPS, who's a friend of First Sky Omaha, we support both. And yeah, at the end of the day, you got to make a decision. So it's better position to be in, even though it don't feel like it all the time, because you know, whatever decision you make, we're gonna be covered in a way, at least on the Democratic side. So so yeah, lots to be said on that, but lots of decisions to be made. I hope that we have made a difference in you getting to know some of these candidates, because that's it. That was pretty much our last candidate until vote day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of it. So it's this time to make that decision. Of course, talk to each other. Let the friends of First Sky Omaha get with each other on the chat. Keep talking about it. Keep mentioning these names. Ask questions if you guys have missed some stuff. Do whatever needs to be done to be able to go into the voting booth tomorrow and do what you got to do. So
yeah, and I'm kind of curious. Have any of you voted already?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, good question. Good question. Let us know in the chat if you have already did the early voting thing and what the process was and what was going on. So
yeah, did you do the thing? Yeah. Speaking of doing the thing, just a real quick, the Nebraska Examiner is kind of giving us a preview of what to expect for tomorrow as far as turnout. And the good news is they are expecting a slight uptick in voter turnout for the primary. So hopefully, this prediction rings true. But again, according to the Nebraska Examiner, voter turnout for tomorrow's primary is predicted at 35%. That's statewide as well as in Douglas County, and that's expected to be even higher, just slightly in Lancaster County. So again, hopefully we do have a better turnout. We'll see though. Again, we've been kind of talking about all of these. What was it, 8,000 or so people switching from Democratic to Republican. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see. But again, a reminder, kind of speaking to Mama Guys, the better of two evils comment. Again, the top two vote getters from the primary move on to the general election. So this is the best opportunity you have, excuse me, to make sure that you don't have that situation again. Again, this is the best opportunity to make sure some candidates of quality make it through.
Yeah. Anecdotally, I feel like this is going to be a big turnout. I actually talked to Brianna Full last week, and I can't remember the number she gave me, but she said in her category, and I'm running for school board, more people have voted, had early voted in this category than voted at all the last time this was up. So I think the primaries are very important, and there's a lot of numbers, a lot of people coming out for that. Black Dynamite says, does that prediction say which way the uptick is headed? I don't think so. And I kind of don't trust polls. I try to stay away from predictions and polls because I feel like that influences people too much. You know, like do what you gonna do. Don't.
Yeah.
There's too much of that. Well, who's let me jump on the bandwagon if it looks like somebody's winning, then let me go ahead and vote for the winner too. That type of thing happens.
Hopefully not. Or people's like, oh, more people are going to vote, so I'm just not going to. Like
that too. Whatever it is, there should not be a comparison to what everybody else is doing. It should be your own idea and choice. So that's what's up. Mama God says, you've made a huge difference for us, Sky. Love you so much. Your work is needed and appreciated. Thank you, Mama God.
Oh man, thanks.
Wouldn't happen. That's right, man. And Mama God, I know you fired Buddy yesterday, so I'll be your surrogate son today and just say thanks, Mom.
Now you trying to replace me, man.
Hey, I'm in town. She might be cooking. I'm in town too, bro. You gonna miss it all.
Man.
Tamika Johnson said, voted for Alicia early by mail. Let's go. There you go.
There you go. And again, there's a lot of don't just look at the main races. There are a lot of ballots, a lot of races being run, and we talk to a lot of them here on the show, man. So again, Paul, Mom, come on now, calm down. But yeah, look at that. Douglas County Attorney again, Don Kleins is going for re-election, so his seat is up. Big shout out to Dave Pontos. Of course, the school board, Douglas County Sheriff. Man, there's
of which.
Well, what you got?
There's a sheriff, a guy who was running for sheriff that got pulled over going at speeds of 107 miles per hour.
Yeah.
He was trying to get. I understood. I almost said I understand though, bro. He was trying to get to Cinco de Mayo, but
okay.
I just thought it was funny that that somebody who's running for sheriff is like breaking the law to do something, and then he had to make the statement like, "So I will be following the law as every other citizen from now on." It just goes to show you, already a bit. You lost already, bro. You're already abusing the law already. So, yeah, we'll find out. We'll get the name on that one, man, because that dude cracked me up. But that's what's up. So Carol Blood for governor in the House again. Put some respect on her name. Says, but how sad is it that there is still the minorities that vote for the majority? In other words, people need to get out and vote. Those numbers are way too low. Yes, that's it too. That's it too. We can sit here and praise the fact that this is because there's more numbers than the last time, but it's still not enough for sure. So, I feel that more people need to get out. More people need to understand. So we're trying to do our part around here. I feel like ever since we got into this game. Starting with Mind and Soul back over at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation and working with Black Votes Matter, working with Preston Love and those guys, we've been kind of upticking a lot of the numbers, helping to uptick some of these numbers, but it ain't nearly what it needs to be. Like I went to the Election Commission last week, and just in that office alone, there was a whole lot of Republicans in there doing things. There was even some Democrats changing over to Republican in there that day. So they be on it, and like what's always said by Precious McKesson, if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be trying to stifle it.
That part
in a big way. But Sarah Phelps says he was rushing to get to go pander some votes.
Nah.
So I was mad that he showed his retired police ID when asked for license and registration. Ooh.
Of course, he trying to. That's that nod and that wink. Yeah, come on, you know who I am.
And he said,
here you go.
Right. Come on, boys in blue. Come on, I'm still in the club.
Right.
He had his campaign shirt on too.
No, not the cat. He was definitely going to pander some votes. Definitely. George Marenthu was his name. George Marenthu.
We only had one person running for sheriff. Wayne Hudson on First Sky Omaha, and he's been hanging out over at the Black Coffee. So I've talked to him several times personally, and he's the dude. And I'm anxious to run into him again and ask him about this, because somebody he's running against just got pulled over. That's just hilarious to me. It's a funny story to me that he's like driving 107 in Omaha. Number one, that's the fastest I ever heard anybody in Omaha drive, bro.
Right.
He was really trying
Omaha religiously is like named the worst drivers in the country.
Bro. And I call it Slomaha. I'm from California, so every time I'm driving, I'm behind somebody like, you guys this is the slowest state ever every time I'm driving. So to hear somebody was driving 107, that is literally the fastest I ever heard anybody driving. He was really trying to get to Cinco de Mayo to get some to try to get some of them votes. So it's pretty funny. Also, Leah Keister just has a good point. She says, take the time to educate yourself about all the candidates so you're prepared when you cast that vote.
Please do.
The other thing you can do is the League of Women's Voters has a voter guide that they always have sitting there next to you. Take that guide into the ballot booth and sit there and look through it and read it. You ain't got to rush. You ain't got to rush the vote. If you got to stand in there and read that whole book, and make the choice right, make the right choice for yourself.
Definitely, if you don't see it, make sure you ask for one when you get to the polling location. I used that the last time I voted, and yes, it's a book full of just all of the candidates' response to all of the issues, and some don't have responses, which kind of tells you what you need to know. And so it's a very, very useful resource. So definitely shout out to the League of Women's Voters for that.
That's right. And if you don't get the guide, use your phone, do whatever you got to do, but take your time in the booth to look up each bill, each candidate.
You can use your phone.
Yep. Sean McCarthy in the chat says all the major issues that receive popular support from the general population: raising the minimum wage, cannabis legalization, universal health care, safe abortion access, could be so much easier to attain with a 60-70% voter turnout. You ain't lying.
Yep. And we're only about 30-40%.
Is it that much?
Yeah. Again, according to this article, voter turnout Tuesday's primary election is predicted at 35%.
Predicted, right? Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Black Diamond says you hear about the 107 out west of Lincoln. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, brother. Driving his butt off. Mr. Phil says yes, you can grab the League of Women's Voters booklet at any library. I use it to take notes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
so you can bring one with you.
It should be there at your polling place. They should have a stack of them there too. If you go. Ariel's 402 says he was let go with a citation, no breathalyzer. Anyone else would have been in jail for those types of speeds. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
There you go.
Tell the truth, Mayor Sanchez.
You know who not to vote for.
For sure. Moving on. Again, thanks for everybody that's in the chat. Definitely want to be able to get to talking about Simone. She's it's not Simone Sanders anymore. It's Simone, like Madonna, just Simone. Like Prince, just Simone. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. Where it's happening. It's happening. Let's take a quick break and jump back into her real quick. Jump back into the story about her real quick. That didn't sound right. And thanks for everybody joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back talking a little bit about Simone Sanders' new show. We're very, very, very proud of her for, and some other things too, some other stories we got going on. So stay tuned. And of course, we got the haps a little later. Get your haps together. If you're on Facebook, please share the show so we can get as many people talking about this as we can, as many people in the conversation as we can, as many chat chimers chiming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Once again, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, thanks for joining us. Before we move any further, let's talk about the Starfleet Daily Meditation Buddy likes to call Trekkie Words of Wisdom, brought to you by Weberized.com. Today is There Comes a Time in Every Man's Life. I got to do it in my 90s R&B voice. There comes a time in every man's life, girl. He must stop thinking and start doing. Benjamin Sisko is the man on Deep Space Nine, bro. He's my favorite of all time characters on the Star Trek expressions. And he gets down. Benjamin Sisko, he says there comes a time in every man's life when he must stop thinking and start doing. You can't overthink things. This is something that I always am having to deal with too, man. I can overthink something so bad I'll be in paralysis. Just don't move, don't make a move, don't do nothing. Still
analysis paralysis is what it's called, brother. Analysis paralysis.
Yep. So definitely on that tip, man. You know, you can plan and you can put things together for so long, but at some point you got to quit thinking it out, and action is needed. Action is involved. Very fitting for today because tomorrow some action is needed as well. We've been talking and thinking through some things this whole season. Space is the place. You've been meeting politicians. You've been meeting community members and people who are trying to run for seats. And it's time to act on all those things that you learn. So tomorrow is vote day. Don't forget. At this point, you have to go to your polling place tomorrow. Or if you got to go today, Douglas County Election Commission, check them out. They're on I believe it's Central. Kind of like 100, somewhere around 120th in Central.
Yeah, 122nd in Center.
Yep.
122nd in Center, kind of close to where the old Nobbies. Yeah. Kind of close to where the old Nobbies used to be. Not too like a couple blocks down from Beveridge Middle School in that area.
So definitely, if you have to go today, you can do that today and tomorrow, or you can go to your polling place tomorrow. But this is it. Primaries are very important. Can't stress it enough. Please check it out. Mama God says that is one bad sister. I swear she and Precious remind me of each other. Strong young sisters. Man, we got some strong candidates, bro, and they just happen to be black women, and I love it. But we got some strong candidates running for a lot of these seats going on right now.
I think she's talking about Simone Sanders, which actually
Simone too. Yeah.
Oh,
true.
Let's go ahead and dive into that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking about Simone before we get out of here, because that is something that is going on, man. Again, just recently made her debut, and you can just drop the Sanders. One name now, Simone, which is the name of her new show on MSNBC Peacock. Again, it's a news commentary show, and it's just the latest step in a very, very successful career as a political analyst. Again, for those of you who don't know, at just the tender age of 32, Sanders is making waves for herself. Again, starting back in 2016 as National Press Secretary for U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, who was then presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. She then became a senior advisor for Joe Biden's presidential campaign before being chief spokesperson for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. She's also made several appearances on the likes of MSNBC and CNN as a political analyst. Also wrote a book titled "No, You Shut Up: Speaking Truth to Power and Reclaiming America," which has also added to her legacy, if you will. And now, fresh off being named the youngest Omaha Press Club inductee, making waves on MSNBC, man. And actually, I do want to give a shout out to a couple of Omaha women making waves on Peacock. It's going down, man. It looks like it's Sister Central over there on Peacock. Again, not just Simone, but also a big shout out to
Amber Ruffin for one.
Yes, thank you, Amber Ruffin. And I feel like I'm forgetting. There's one more from Omaha that's on Peacock or MSNBC. I feel like I feel like there's another one I'm forgetting. But again, big shout out to Amber Ruffin. Big shout out to Simone Sanders making waves and carving out a lane on Peacock. Coming straight out of Omaha, man, North Side to be exact.
North Side. She rep North Side. As a matter of fact, I got a little clip. Let's check it out.
Hey.
This show ends. A few things about me. You may know me from my work in politics, the presidential campaigns of Senator Bernie Sanders and President Biden, or even advising Vice President Harris. I am blessed to have had the opportunity to sit at the table where big decisions were made. I built a successful career speaking for other people, but now I have something to say. So thank you for joining me at my table here on MSNBC. You know, as a little girl growing up in North Omaha, I used to talk into a spoon or a hairbrush pretending to be a news anchor. Donna Burns was her name. And now to sit here in the DC Bureau with a show named after me, it is just really a full circle moment. I am filled with gratitude. And now I want to tell you a few things about this show. I know I have a responsibility. I promise to bring you an inside look at important political stories that impact you. And I'm not just talking about here in Washington, but across our country where it's all going on. We're going to get some insight from some heavy hitters. And plus, we are going to talk culture. We want to hear what you have to say. So hit us up on all our social media handles at Simone MSNBC. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't miss Simone tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. We are debuting the Culture Corner, where we're going to talk to our culture critics about attacks on comedians like Dave Chappelle and so much more.
And that is protected by the red, the black, and the green.
I do see that orange and that green in there too. Yeah. Shout out to all my rattlers out there.
Hey, so proud of Simone.
Man.
So proud. Yep.
Man.
We'll have TD Sanders on next week, and she can talk a little bit about how proud she is about the new show. Beautiful thing, man. I love how she's repping. She repping North as a young girl from North Omaha, bro. Went ahead and put the North on that Omaha.
Had to let them know, man. Had to let them know. So again, man, making big waves, doing big things, and North Omaha has something to say, man. And we're a part of that. It's not just us, though. You know, shout out to the coverage that we're getting from the Reader. Shout out to Noise. Shout out to Flatwater Free Press. I mean, you look at it from the local to the state to now the national. We have avenues and we have ways to have our voices heard, man. So again, we don't just say it because it rhymes. We don't just say it because it sounds nice. But let your mind be free. Let your voices be heard. Let's keep it moving.
Most def. Can't get over that. I'm so happy, man. So proud, man.
It's heavy. I got a little choked up myself.
There you go, man. Get your little Omaha Star newspaper, bro, because you know that TD Sanders has went ahead and featured her daughter in that latest copy on the reel. So definitely go check that out. Like Dynamite in the house with the applause, with the washing of the hands applause. We love that.
Wash hands.
Black Dynamite says, random thought. Have you realized that Omaha and or Nebraska is mentioned a lot on TV?
I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Stands out. Yeah, man. Good stuff. So support her, MSNBC. Definitely check the show out. I'm gonna start watching it just so we can add to the conversation, because really, man, you know, she's kind of a correspondent almost. Really, you know, like.
No,
gotta see what she got to say, because she gonna absolutely be representing what's going on out here and everything that she's pushing and doing. So
that's you already see she mentioned Dave. You know, she gonna be talking about that real, man. She gonna be talking about that real.
She'll fool around, have Dave on the show. So
all right.
Yeah, man. Super proud of Simone and her new show. So definitely support her. Definitely support Amber Ruffin as well. As a matter of fact, Amber Ruffin will be here in first part of July. She's going to be inside. We'll have more details about this, but she's going to be repping one of the comedy companies out here, and they're going to be at the Benson Theater. So that's happening very soon as well. I'm like that was a Dave from DC. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, man. No matter where he's at right now and out in the country somewhere, he's from DC. DC cat. So anyway, yeah, she'll be out. Amber Ruffin will be out here as well. There's lots happening, lots coming up. As a matter of fact, we should just go ahead and jump into the haps now. But lots happening, and not just this weekend, but like all summer, all in the fall. I mean, there's a lot going on. That's happening, and we kind of need to talk a little bit about it. We'll save it for Wednesday, but we need to talk a little bit about these COVID outbreaks, because there are some. We know people personally. People who have called off the show, as a matter of fact, guests that have come down and could not make it because of that. So there's a lot going on. And we definitely need to be back with the masks and the safety because COVID is spreading. But with that said, lots going on. Before we get to the Hap, Stephen Abraham says, when I was the day house manager at Sienna Francis House, many of the people I encountered was younger, meaning ages 13 to 30. Wow, I didn't know that. Most would say they had been kicked out of their house, ran away, or simply was court ordered and now have ran away from those foster homes. That age group wouldn't even talk about getting their GED and rather hang with the transits or chronic homeless. Truancy and homelessness are hand in hand. Interesting.
Yeah.
Truancy and homelessness are hand in hand.
Not quite sure where that came from, but it's quite a statement.
Quite a statement, and it's quite a thought to I never put those two things together. This is one of the reasons why this truancy issue is so huge. So, shout out to everybody running for school board who's trying to get in there and change it from the inside. Especially, that's an inside, some inside information there.
Shout out to Bridget Fogarty who wrote an article about truancy too. Got some resources out there.
Most deaf. Truancy and homelessness are hand in hand. Really, really a trip. Let's jump into the house with the last few minutes that we got. Stay tuned. Get your halves together, y'all. What's happening? What's going down? That's right. It's time for the Haps, talking about what's going down around town, the things that are happening this week that we need to jump into and talk about. Also, let us know about some things that is on your mind and on your list of an agenda to do this week as well. Buddy, would you like to begin?
Well, of course, tomorrow is the day that's going down tomorrow. So make sure you're getting out voting, having your voices heard, and again, just executing and taking advantage of one of the few opportunities we have to have a say in something that goes on around here. So again, make sure you're going out to vote. There will be an election night watch party going on tomorrow. That's at 7:30 p.m. This will be created by Michael Young for Nebraska, also Shelton for OPS School Board, and Wayne Hudson for DC Sheriff. All of those campaigns will be joining forces to watch this event. It says, come join the candidates for our primary election. Not sure where this will be, but there'll be light appetizers and hors d'oeuvres provided. The Strut. There we go. The Strut right there on 5402 North 90th Street. So right kind of close to 90th and 4th area. Again, the Strut will be where this watching party will be held. Again, that's 7:30 to 10 p.m. tomorrow evening.
What's up?
Also going on, Brighten Our Future. Shout out to Brighten Our Futures, another one of the chat chimers that has a learning center or a child care facility. She will be having an event that's May 27th, so that's later this month. Cocktails for a Purpose. So definitely support our child care centers, and that's later this month.
There you go. Just to let you guys know too, the Omaha Farmers Market is firing up.
Hey,
opens up in May, so it's coming up, and of course you can check out the Omaha Farmers Market and tell you where all the locations are. Old Market downtown, Exarban Village is usually like on a Sunday, and don't just get that information, but correlate it with the farmers markets that are happening like on 24th and Lake, which aren't always advertised here on the Farmers Market website because they're their independent ones. So definitely check that out in the hood near you if you can.
There you go. There you go. Also, a reminder, the Poor People's Movement is still going on. June 18th will be a march on Washington. So again, the organizing campaign has begun. If you'd like to get involved in that campaign or in the organizing efforts, you can check out poorpeoplescampaign.org. Again, that's poorpeoplescampaign.org. And this is all a continuation of the work that the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. started with his Poor People's Campaign. So again, a lot of people suffering. Let's go ahead and fight.
Most def. Also, our friends over at the House Afro Capes and Curls present Steampunk Tea Party happening June 18th. So save that date, June 18th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be at NOMA, the North Omaha Music Academy, right there on 24th and Lake, the old Loves Jazz facility, 2510 North 24th Street. Anxious to see what's going to happen in that building there. So definitely check that out on June 18th, a Steampunk Tea Party, House of Afro Capes and Curls. Go to House of Afro Capes and Curls, I believe, .com, and definitely check them out because they are going to have events that happen before this steampunk tea party that'll help you get your costume together. That's how she works it. So this is not a costume town all the time, but she circumvents that by having costume parties so everybody can get their stuff ready for the actual event. So definitely go check them out. Shout out to House of Afro Capes and Curls. Appreciate them.
There you go.
And that'll do. We got about 1 minute left in the show. Thanks for joining us today on this Monday, the 9th. Remember, it is vote day tomorrow. We can't stress it enough. Cannot stress it enough. Buddy, got some words for the people?
Man, as always, a big shout out and a big thank you to our guest for today, Miss Alicia Shelton. Check her out again, Alicia Shelton for Congress. And then also big shout out to baby boy Chris Bowling of The Reader. Big shout out to all of our partners, man. Check them out. The Reader, Flatwater Free Press, Noise, also Omaha Star. Again, doing the work, man, doing the work and providing voice for the voices. So make sure you support these outlets. And of course, make sure you make it to the polls tomorrow. It is the time to, again, have your voices be heard and kind of try to dictate our future, man. So until next time, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Of course, we will be politicking with P on Wednesday, talking about the results and things like that. So looking forward to that conversation. But without further ado, Paul B, take it away.
Right on. Ms. Erkenfeld says, as usual, great show with a variety of topics to think on. Thank you. Drink water and keep your space, and vote is how you be good to yourself, for sure. Brooke says she went to junior high with Michael Young. Interesting.
Okay.
Brianna Full says, thank you so much for interacting and having conversations with me about the issues that are important to our community. I hope I've proven to you that I'm the best candidate for OPS school board. If you have any questions before making your vote, please let me know. 531-215-7494. Hashtag full for OPS. Right on. Brooke, yes, they I think they do have a farmers market on 24th, so we'll definitely get some information and check in on that if we can find it. Virgo Savages says, do you have an email, only FB or YouTube availability for your show? Yeah, you can hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com for an email address there. Brooke says, I love that they have the Sankofa symbol in their flyer. Interesting. Okay, that's what's happening. Join us again. Once again, go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donation button so that we can keep this up. Brooke says, great show. Appreciate it, Brooke.
Thank you.
And so if you have not become a reoccurring member or sponsor of the station, please give us a call. And give us a donation. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and become a reoccurring member, if you will. I want to give thanks to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Shout out to Star Trek Rich and the whole Weberized crew. Go to weberized.com. And if you have podcast ideas, those are the people that you got to get down with. Weberized.com.
Squad.
And so, definitely the squad for sure. Shout out to all you, the chat chimers, and everybody who shares the show as well. Really appreciate you doing that so we can get as many people talking here as we can. Really appreciate that. Leah Keister says, major appreciation for you guys for what you guys do. Don't stop being awesome. Thank you very much. Don't stop being awesome yourself. Appreciate that. Josh Tagg says, have a great day all, and you guys have a great day too. Take it easy and handle your business tomorrow. Handle your business, because the primaries are super important,
man.
So so you guys have a good one, and good luck and peace. And we'll see you Wednesday.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green.